As an aviation enthusiast, I've never been to Houston George Bush International Airport before. I've always wanted to travel to Houston and see what the airport is all about. After years of trying, I finally found a great opportunity to visit Houston on my way to Chicago for the Airliners International 2022 convention. Join me as we explore Houston Intercontinental during a 2-hour layover from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on June 23rd, 2022. This is going to be a blast, everybody. Let's dive into this. Alrighty everybody, welcome to Houston. I am so excited to be here. I can most certainly say that there are no problems here, and I'm really excited to be at Houston for the very first time, so let's just dive straight into it. So be sure to check out that United 737-900 trip report if you didn't already. That'll get you caught up to speed on where we are to this point in the trip, and man, it has been a super fun one thus far. That was a fantastic leg of this trip, and I'm really excited to be here, so let's get into it. So upon my first impression getting here, I just thought that the airport was really nice, as you guys will see through these clips. Just the infrastructure, the whole airport looks really nice. Got to see the control tower, which was really cool, and so many United planes, and this is quite different for me. As you guys know, I mainly fly through American Airlines hubs, so it was really cool to get to see all this United Airlines action, which I thought was really cool, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So that was absolutely awesome, and getting inside the terminal was super cool. The infrastructure, the terminal building was super nice. The outside looks amazing, the inside looks amazing, and we arrived into Terminal E for reference. So this is one of the newer buildings on the airport, but there are some different buildings as we'll take a look at throughout this video, taking a look at like Concourse A and B and all that fun stuff. But definitely really nice and a fantastic first impression. They had a really nice hollow design. It was very nice and open. It was really nice, and some of the biggest things I took away from that, just very nice in general and very spacious. There was a lot of room to move around, as you guys can see throughout these clips. That was fantastic, and I'm just so excited to be here. Houston's a fantastic place, it seems, and I really enjoyed this stay to just get to see what the airport's all about, and even though it was only 2 hours, I most certainly enjoyed it. So following this, like I said, we arrived in Terminal E, super nice facility, and then following this, it's already time to get some plane spotting going. So of course, we're taking a look at the infrastructure clips. I do want to emphasize how nice it is, and later in the video we'll take a more in-depth look, but Terminal E is fantastic, super nice, and we'll also get to look at the newer Terminal C, which is also really nice. Take a look at that in detail and all that fun stuff. But we only have so much time here, and I'm really excited to get into the plane spotting, as it's going to be really good. So we'll be starting on the SkyTrain. I thought I would start here and start making my way over to the west side of the airport to see if there's any good spotting locations I can utilize, since the sun will be behind me from that angle. So let's go get on the SkyTrain and see what these pictures are all about. So we'll go dive into the pictures. I hope you guys are excited for it, but from here, like I said, we're going to take it up to the SkyTrain, utilize it. Houston seems to have a really nice SkyTrain. I'll talk about it a little bit more in a moment once we get on board and let you guys see what it's all about, but we'll be doing some plane spotting from here, getting into the terminal and everything. So I hope you guys are excited for this, and let's get this plane spotting going, everybody. Alrighty everybody, let's get into all these pictures, as we have some really good ones to go over here in Houston. Man, this was an awesome first impression, so I'm really excited for this, and I hope you guys are as well. Let's dive into this. So here's our wing of the United 737-900. We have quite a few taxiing in, so I thought I would show you guys all those. These aren't very good, but here's a United A319 landing in from somewhere, who knows, but those are actually okay, so not too bad. I like the 319, and there was a 320, awful shot, but 320 landing in. And then one thing I really liked about Houston, hopefully when I get to return sometime, hopefully I'll get to look at this more in detail, is their cargo ramp. There was 3 Atlas aircraft, a 767, 2 767s, excuse me, a 747, and there's a UPS 757 over there too, looking quite nice. And I did my best to get good pictures, but I didn't really do a great job. There's the DHL 777. That might be my first, or I'm sorry, that's a 762, excuse me. I think I've caught one of those, but still really cool to get it backlit. And then we got a United number ERJ-175, probably doing some maintenance or something like that, so looking good. Here's United's huge hangar at Houston. I think it looks really good, especially that new title. I'm sure that's new right there, since they got the Evo livery, but as you guys can tell, plenty of United over here. So you got a couple of Airbuses and Boeings on the left side, and then Boeing 757-300 right there in the front. That was my very first Evo Blue, and many more to come through the Airliners International trip, so stay on the lookout for all those details. Very nice. Tried to get good shots, but I kind of failed miserably, but I sure did my best. So luckily we get more. There's a 319 getting some routine maintenance right there. And then of course here's the other side of the hangar, including the Airbus A320, 767-300, and the Boeing 777-200, which look quite nice. There's a zoom in on 320. Here's a 777-200. This one looks really good. I like that one. And in the back right there, you can see the Star Alliance 777. Stand by for more on that here in a moment. Here we go, boys. Following that, here's more angles of the 777 as well, and I like this small United hangar. That's pretty cool, so really good to get to see that. And there's a 777 in the hangar as well, so the Evo Blue livery most certainly taking over, it would appear. There's the Star Alliance Boeing 777. We get so many better shots of this, but man, it was so cool to get to see this aircraft at long last, and I was so glad to get to see it. This isn't the best shot, but here's a really nice look at the international terminal, Terminal D, with the Vita Air Airbus A321, and also Terminal E, where we're going to park here in this picture. There's a little bit better than the 777, and again, that hangar is kind of small, but pretty good for a wide body. McCauley. I expected a little bit bigger, but looking good. Evo 763 looking really nice. Couple backlit shots. There's a picture of the Rhodes looking really good right there. And there she is, the United Airlines Boeing 777-200ER in the Star Alliance livery, November 77022. And what an airframe this is. You got the red tug on it too. Just such a stunning looking aircraft. And I did get many good taxiing shots, but I got the one when it mattered. And man, this thing looks so good. I think these are the Pratt & Whitney engines. Or no, I'm trying to think, because I think the Pratt & Whitney's had issues. So maybe these are the Rolls-Royce options. Maybe that's correct. I keep getting confused with that, so I'm super sorry. But nevertheless, that is looking awesome. I should know better because I flew one. But nevertheless, looking great with the engine problems, I should say. I'm pretty sure the Pratt & Whitney's had the issues, and this must be the Rolls-Royce then. So looking really nice, and man, it was so cool you could see that. Just take a look at that beauty. That is so awesome right there. So glad I got to catch that. And here's the United 737-800, some crisp lighting right here as we taxied into the Echo Concourse. And man, Houston, this is the way to get it kicked off. Like I said, no problems here. There's our wing view, and there's our aircraft, the Gate Echo 21, a little bit backlit right there, but looking really nice in reference to the design. And here's a really cool shot right here of United 737-900. I've caught several of these over the years, but just so different, and it's just such a different vibe to get to see them all lined up. So you got 739, 320, probably a 319 back there, some sort of 737 Evo, and then they just don't end at Houston, which is so cool. And hopefully I got the shot that I'm thinking of, but this was really cool to get to see as well, the United 777 as well. Man, this aircraft is so cool, and it's so cool to get to see them in so many different liveries and everything, and I'm just so glad to be here. And this is why I really wanted to come to Houston, get to see what this is all about, take a look at those catering trucks and the elevation on that, the cargo tins. That's just so awesome. And the shot I'm thinking of, there's a 739. Okay, I didn't get it, but I got on my iPhone the wide angle, which was really cool, so that was nice to get to see as well, and that was really nice, so I was very pleased with that effort. And then the Skytrain, here we go. So the views were pretty good. I didn't really know what to expect, but honestly, the lighting was kind of weird anyways for this time of day, so we definitely made do with what we have. But here's the Embraer ERJ 175, and they were lined up at Houston. There were so many. And here's some shots of the United mainline planes over here at Terminal C. So here's plenty of 737s right here going to various destinations. I like the design. It's pretty cool, honestly. It kind of reminds me of what I did with I think Great Plains. I kind of did a couple of designs like this. And then this is a brand new Terminal C, and I don't know if it was in the previous pictures, but I think they're about to get started on another concourse that's like right around there. But nevertheless, here we go with some United mainline planes. So beginning with a 737-800 looked like 739, 737-700, and 737-800. That gate position back here is also really cool. I really like that. And something landing back there. So really nice lineup of aircraft. Take a look at the infrastructure of this terminal. Really nice job and really helpful for all the United mainline planes. They've been getting after that. Here we go into the regional jet gates. So as you can tell, we have plenty of Mesa Embraer ERJ 175s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only one in the Continental Globe colors. I mean, maybe one of these is SkyWest, but they're probably all Mesa, so looking good. And here's the United 737 MAX 9 loading up. This is a really cool gate, Charlie 15. One of the best gates on the aprons for trying to get views, and it looks really good. So I can only imagine how that would look in the evening. That is really nice right there. And here's kind of a cool wide angle. So you got our 737 MAX, which the aircraft we're actually going to be flying out on, which is really exciting. So stay on the lookout for that. Then you got 737-800 right here. It appears looking really good, or 739 of sorts, 320, and then some sort of 737 right there. So lots of 737s, but you're also going to find quite a few Airbuses as well. Here's a better angle of that, and this still appears to be 800, but it might be 900. This one also looks like 800, and who guessed it? Another Continental Globe 737 looking good. Here's those three ERJs looking great. I'm sorry about the reflection. I was trying to get this down again. Very first time spotting here, so it's quite different. Here's another Mesa Embraer 175. I like the gate angles. They're quite unique, and I can only imagine this lighting in the winter. This is probably really good stuff. Here's a nice wide angle, and there was an American 737 that was inbound. I don't know why I chose to zoom in on it after I've caught so many, but there we go. So that was looking really good. And there's our Max. That was going to have service out to Chicago O'Hare. Super cool. And again, that's going to be absolutely awesome. Stay on the lookout for that trip report. And I guess I also went for a picture of the Houston Airport Skytrain, which looks really cool. And this is a good picture. Kind of take a look at what they look like. They kind of look like Dallas's Skylink, but a little bit different, as you can see, especially the design here is quite different. And then as you can see, the seats and everything, the pulls, slightly different, but kind of the same concept. And then here's the next RJ terminal, which again, just all Mesa 175s. They never end, and their gate numbering system is quite interesting. So with the other concourses, they do it how they do it with just normal terminals, but with these, they go all the way up to like 100. I think it's pretty ridiculous. So here's the 70s, which is quite interesting, but I think it's quite cool. So here we go in the 83 as well right here. More Embraer 175s. There are plenty of them, and still plenty to be painted very soon. These look really good, and again, it gets probably cut off somewhere in this ballpark, but do keep in mind these are wide-angle shots, and they do look really good back on the camera. This is one of the best catches at Houston for sure. Excuse me. The Air Canada Express Embraer EarJDish 175 in the Blue Ice toothpaste livery. I was really excited to get to see this one. Personally, this is one of my favorite liveries. I'm really glad I got to see this at Houston when I was there, and I really like this aircraft. It was very good to get to see Air Canada again, and it's been quite some time, so I was really pleased to get to see that. You also got Delta United number 175 because these guys need places to park. This is also a really cool angle as well. The reflection kind of killed some of these, so definitely get your camera right up against the frame if you're going to take pictures, because it cost me several times, but it's pretty hard honestly, and it's really weird to get that angle. This is a SkyWest number 175. Funnily enough, you can see the little decal right there, but good stuff right there, and that is all looking great right there. Very nice. And this is also Terminal A, excuse me. United operates here, Air Canada, Frontier, Delta. I'm trying to think who else. I think there's a couple other carriers, so looking good. That American 737 taxiing by, and I wish I would have got more pictures with lighting like this, but this is obviously through a window, so I just took it for fun. And then following that, that is the last picture there. So let's go get in Terminal A, see what it's all about. That is our next step, as we'll be taking it over to Terminal A, excuse me. See what the terminal is all about. Obviously, this is where all the other airlines park, but my goal was to get more shots like this, the lighting facing that way. And like I was saying, I was coming over to the west side of the airport side. I decided to try Concourse A, and let's see how it goes. It's going to be interesting to say the least, but we're going to have to see how it goes. So let's get down there and see what Terminal A is all about, everybody.
May I have your attention? This is the final boarding call for passenger traveling on Air Canada Flight 1846 service to Montreal.
Alrighty guys, Houston's been great so far. It's been unfortunate that I've had to experiment to find ways to spot, but it's been great. Let these people pass. So yeah, definitely been unfortunate, but we've still made the most of it. It's always a learning experience when you go to a new airport for the very first time. And Houston's been great. I just wish that there would have been more online terminal spotting device, but it's okay. They do have some great exhibits on display here, as you can see. Very good. So we're gonna go down here to the south side Terminal A, see what they have going on down here, and then it'll probably be time to go board fairly soon. So yes.
Alrighty everybody, so here we go with the Terminal A spotting. So like I said, the Terminal A spotting was quite unique, especially since there was two piers to Terminal A, of course. So here's the north side where we're at right now, spotting this Delta A321. Southwest also park up here. You can see their truck, and they've started flying the Houston Intercontinental, which I think's been really cool. And there was some pretty good spots. So this spot would have been pretty good for an evening shot right here. But nevertheless, here's that Delta Airlines Airbus A321 pushing back. I think this guy was out to Atlanta, but still a really cool spot and a really neat one to say the least. Sorry about that. Next up right here, we went to the other side of Concourse A. This is more the actual like terminal building, if you will. And at Alpha 9, here's that toothpaste Embraer EarJDish 175. I believe this guy was going out to Montreal today. Toronto or Montreal is one of those two. I think it was Montreal though. And this is a really cool flight. I think this is my first time catching one of these in quite some time, and a really pretty plane to say the least. This also is a great shot demonstrating various characteristics of Houston, including all the Mesa Embraer EarJDish 175s and a few SkyWest. Along with that, you can see Terminal C in the far background there, and how nice of a facility that is. And we'll take a more in-depth look at that here in just a moment. So quite a nice view right there. Here's the Frontier Airlines Airbus A320neo. I forget which tail this was, but I know I didn't get the best shots. I think I may have got a couple better ones, but this is still a pretty cool plane right here, and that's a cool double beacon despite the absolutely tremendously bad heat haze. This is the other side of the window over here looking toward the west, and as you can see, the lighting's really good here in the morning. And here at Alpha 1 is the United Express Embraer EarJDish 175 on the behalf of SkyWest Airlines. This is November 135 Sierra Yankee, and you can see down here, and let me see if I can get my cursor here so you guys can see it. The first officer captain. I think probably the first officer would be my guess, doing the pre-flight walk around, which is really cool to see. I personally never got to see this, at least what I've recalled, so it's really cool to finally get to see this. I'm sure I've seen it at some point, but really cool to get to actually see it, knowing you know, being a pilot and everything nowadays. So that's really cool, and really weird how Alpha 2's over here but Alpha 1's over here on the left side. I don't think I've ever quite seen that before, so that's really cool. In the area where we've seen that Delta is down here in this little, I hate to say, but pretty much trailer complex sort of thing. I'm not exactly sure what you want to call that. So quite an interesting add-on, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But United's stealing all the gates here at Terminal A because there's none left. Delta Airbus A321 taxiing out, and like I said, there's the first officer, as you guys saw in the video previously. Really nice. And there's the Delta 321, like I said, taking it out there. Another SkyWest 175 making it in here. There are quite a few, but I don't think they actually have a crew base out of here. I think they're simply just doing turns out of here. So pretty cool. You get to see that. An absolute mess down here on the ground. I'm not exactly sure what happened here, but quite unfortunate. But it is cool to see various Delta tow bars right here for mainline airplanes like 319s, 320s, and 321s. Along with that, you got the MD-88, MD-90, rest in peace. But you do have the 717 there, so pretty cool, and a nice various lineup right there. SkyWest taxiing into the gate right here. I know I didn't get the best shots in the world of all these planes, but nevertheless, we did our best with the circumstances, and I was really trying to figure out this Houston plane spotting for the very first time. I couldn't find much online, or I would have tried to prevent this. Speaking of which, here's another SkyWest aircraft. This is their CRJ-200 in Evo blue colors coming in from somewhere. This is another nice angle here, getting shots of planes taxiing off of 8, and that's quite nice. And finally getting some better shots of the Air Canada Express Embraer JH-175 in the toothpaste colors with the non-stop service out to Montreal, but it might have been Toronto. But this is uniform Foxtrot uniform Juliet Echo, excuse me, and that was really cool to get to see it taxiing over to the 15s. And here's the American Airlines Boeing 737-800. This guy's currently loading up with the non-stop turnaround back up to Dallas-Fort Worth. You can see that's off the center line right there, but it's okay, they got it chalked up. And a nice looking aircraft, nice window here, and you know, I've caught plenty of these, but cool to get to see that Houston's Concourse A, which is really cool. Also, this is the south side of Concourse A. I should also clarify this. So that was the walking shot, the last video clip that you guys saw, which was really cool. And this was a pretty nice building. It had your typical Midwestern low ceilings, but still pretty cool right there. And here's a Mesa CRJ taking off. This guy may have been out the Phoenix, but that's pretty nice. And then yeah, that was all the time I had. It was really unfortunate that I ran out of time, but I did my best, and we got some planes we got to explore quite a bit, so I was pleased with that, but nevertheless just ran out of time, so what can you do about it? But currently taxiing out right there, you are going to see I'm forgetting the name, the people mover system bumper right there, so that's what that is. But on the other side, you do see the Viva Airbus A321 Neo. This guy was taxiing out with the non-stop service back out to, I think this one was a Mexico City flight, but you guys will see a shot that I really wanted to get, but unfortunately I ran out of time, so I wasn't able to get a good shot of it, but I did get it through the window because that was the best I could do, and that was pretty cool, so I might end up editing that for fun. Here we go down the other side once again. Frontier taking the gate right there, and a Delta 175 taxiing out right there. And some of these shots can come out really good. I hope to revisit Houston maybe in the winter perhaps to get some better lighting shots, because the summer morning is just not the ideal time. But still got some good ones. Definitely did better over here, even though you can see the reflection on my shirt of some of these Mesa aircraft. And there's a Delta 175. Those three again. There's that Max again. And yeah, we barely got, I think we got right at about 45 minutes or an hour over there. So that was quite unfortunate, but what can I say? So that was the last picture for this round. We have quite a few video clips to get in for Terminal A, or Terminal C, excuse me. It is a fantastic terminal, and we'll do some more talking about it here in just a moment. Very excited for it, and I hope you guys are as well. Let's dive into those details.
All right, here we go, the Concourse C. Again, not too bad. I can't be too disappointed. We still got some really good stuff though. Star Alliance 777, hopefully 737, all those regional jets, the Air Canada two-pace 175 for Jazz. So not bad, not bad. I can't complain. It's pretty good. And we'll just keep improving. Plus, this is a really tough time of day, and there was nothing on the 1.5, so I will know for next time how to get around here though, and it will make a little bit more practical sense and be a little bit easier next time, because I know kind of what I'm doing now. And I'm not too mad that this turned into more of a learning experience. And I'm gonna go get that train so I don't miss it, so let's go get on. Alrighty guys, heading over to Terminal C North. So let's get over there. New concourse I think is getting developed right there. I'm not sure what concourse it will be, but probably more United. So these walkways are pretty cool and how they work. Gate C8. Let's head over. Oh, that looks so cool.
service to Orange County. All passengers are asked to report to gate E16.
Alrighty everybody, so here we go into our next round of pictures, and we have some really good ones. Not this one though, I did want to feature it though because this was almost a really cool shot with the Vita Airbus A321neo in the full Houston downtown skyline. Unfortunately, I was that short of getting the perfect shot, and it was during when the people mover system was moving, so that was pretty unfortunate, but nevertheless I still thought it was pretty neat. And man, it definitely sucks because as you guys can see, the like pillar right there a little over to the right would have provided a really cool shot, so definitely unfortunate, but what can you do? These sort of things happen, and it's not the first time that I've had something like that happen to me before, so very nice right there. And here's our United Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8 that's going to be taking us up to Chicago here today. Be sure to stay on the lookout for that trip report. It was really good, and I'm very excited to share that with you guys, so definitely be on the lookout for that. And then taking a look at that, or I'm sorry, wrong way on the cursor right there. Then following that, we're going to be boarding up, and here in just a moment, but there is a 737-800 taxiing by. That was quite nice. Now let's see, so here's our wing view, really nice from, I think this was 30F, so that's looking really good. And we got a variety of planes here, including the 320, 737-700, and various others, an 800 right there it looks like perhaps, and also this Embraer ERJ-175 among all these back here too. Looking really good as well. Quite a few SkyWest 175s in Houston. I did not expect that, but plenty of Mesa 175s too. As you guys can see, they are literally everywhere out here, and this is going to be the backbone of the United Airlines regional jet fleet here in Houston for quite a few years to come. This 737-700, I believe, was pushing out for Orange County, and a really cool shot of this Eva Blue Embraer ERJ-175 that was taxiing out, and there was some really cool angles to be had, and I thought that we got some really cool shots here out the window, perhaps better than inside the terminal. There's another 737-700 taxiing out right there. And here's a really nice picture of Terminal C, and I was going to say this after I looked at all the pictures, but I might as well do it here real quick. Terminal C is just a super nice building. You guys got to see it from all those clips. It is truly a state-of-the-art facility, and I was super impressed by it. You can even get a heavy aircraft on that gate over there in the top left, and ultimately this is just super, it's a super nice building, and I was so glad to get to spend some time in there. They had some really nice couches, power outlets, different sort of amenities for all passengers to use, and I highly recommend checking out this terminal and Terminal E if you are in Houston. They're quite nice. Not the best spotting views just due to how big the terminal is, or rather I should say not how big it is, but how much congestion there is. That's a better word for it, because you guys can see all these jet bridges and all that, but still a really cool building, and I would highly recommend checking it out. There's a 737-900 loading up there on the far side, another Airbus A320, and a Boeing 737-800. These all were looking really good, and here's the construction of that terminal as well. It's really exciting to see that, and like I was saying in the video, I believe this is probably going to be for more United Airlines mainline aircraft, unless if they're building this for the actual new international gates. I'm not completely sure, so don't roast me too hard, but I've been looking for information and I didn't get a chance to look into all the details today, so I apologize about that, but nevertheless, some sort of terminal is going up, and it's really exciting to see that. Here's the current international facility. As you guys can see, we have the Aeromexico 737-800, Volaris Airbus A321, and Viva Aerobus Airbus A320. Among that, we also have the Houston Tower, which looks quite nice, and I'm excited for more gates to come for Houston because they really need it. Here's the Boeing 767-300 that we're taxiing by, the Continental Globe colors. Really nice plane. And then following that, there's that Starlines 777, getting to see it again. A little bit backlit this time around, but looking quite nice. There's the Aeromexico in a plane turning out right there in the background. Volaris. Here's the United Starlines, such a cool plane, in the Viva Aerobus Airbus A320. Really cool to get to see all those aircraft. And again, the real push comes in the afternoon for all these heavies. So I definitely want to return to Houston, probably in the afternoon, and also probably in some nice winter lighting, because that seems to be really good for at least what the spotting we were trying to do here. But nevertheless, excited to experiment with Houston more in the future. The goal of this was to at least visit Houston. We did knock that out. Speaking of which, here's the 777 and 767 at the hangar. Those look really nice. There's a 767 in the corner right there, and also what appears to be a 757 taking off right there, and another 777 over here looking quite nice. Among that, we also have the Eva Blue at a better angle right here, and quite frankly, the lighting in the summer here, I was surprised how good it was from some of these angles. Here's the hangar once again as we taxi out for the departure. This was from runway 26 right, I believe, as well, so that was quite nice. And there's those Atlas stairs again. Heat haze was pretty bad, but what can you say, and also the UPS. So kind of some similar shots as we made it out to the other side of the runway for takeoff. Here's the United Airlines Airbus A319 getting ready to go. Also, along with that, you have all the taxiway tires, which we get better video of in the actual trip port, so stay on the lookout for that too, which is really nice. And then following that, did we have any others? I believe that is the final picture of the Houston layover vlog. So sorry that this one was a little bit more condensed. The biggest reason for that was because I was trying to find some good spotting locations inside the terminal, and I was very unsuccessful doing that. So I sincerely apologize about about the misconception there, or not misconception, excuse me, wrong word, but the trying to make that work and trying to get the conception there, and unfortunately it just did not all come together at once. I definitely know the airport a lot better now, and I'm really eager to return because Houston is a really cool city. I really like what the airport provides, and also want to check out Houston Hobby too. So hopefully I'll be able to do it in the upcoming future at some time. But for the moment, what the goal was to at least get to visit and add it to my destinations, and I finally got to do that, which is really exciting. And I was super glad to get to visit Houston. Like I said, definitely be on the lookout for some more spotting from here in the upcoming future, because I'm really excited to get back. And like I said, it is a very, very, very cool airport. Highly recommend going to it, and ultimately a fantastic airport to say the least, with great facilities, great amenities, great planes, and just ultimately a fantastic place to be. So again, thank you guys so much for understanding. Also, sorry on the back half of this video, I am a little bit ill at this time, so that's why it didn't sound quite as good as the first half. But nevertheless, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, be on the lookout for the United 737 MAX 8 trip report. It is really, really good, and you guys are going to thoroughly enjoy that. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Along with that, we also have the previous leg of the trip from Tulsa to Houston with the 737-900, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already, and all the upcoming content and the airliner stuff too if you haven't already. Really, really exciting times. I hope you guys have been enjoying all the content. I've thoroughly enjoyed producing it, excuse me, and I'm so excited for what's to come. Like I said, I'm super excited to visit Houston again, but it was really cool to finally get to be here, and I can definitely say I was super impressed with everything I see. Even some of the older facilities were quite nice, but the newer facilities were top-notch. I'm really excited to come back and see what the airport's all about, hopefully very soon, and let me know what you guys think of Houston. I think it's a really cool place. Really excited to come back. There's definitely no problems here, like I was saying, and a really cool airport to say the least. So with all that being said, that will do for today's video, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do what you love and love what you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.